Why is it that the moment you walk into a group, you suddenly start thinking about what everyone else thinks of you? Does your mind keep asking, what if I sound stupid? What if they don't like me? What if I make a mistake? In this video, we're going to understand why other people's opinions can have so much power over our behavior. And more importantly, you'll learn a practical way to stop letting fear of judgment control your choices. But before we get to the solution, we need to understand a more important question. Why do we care so much about other people's opinions in the first place? Humans are social creatures. For most of human history, belonging to a group wasn't just an emotional preference, it was connected to safety and survival. That's why our brains are highly sensitive to signals of rejection, approval, and social judgment. But here's the problem with modern life. The threat usually isn't real, yet your brain can still interpret a look, a silence, or a negative opinion as a social threat. And that's when something interesting happens. Instead of simply choosing how we want to behave, we start changing our behavior based on how we imagine other people might react. We choose clothes because we think other people will like them. We stay quiet because someone might disagree. We struggle to say no. And sometimes, before we even do something, we imagine an entire audience judging us. But can you actually control what other people think? This is where one of the central ideas from The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga becomes useful. Drawing on the psychology of Alfred Adler, the book argues that one of our common mistakes is taking responsibility for things that are not actually under our control. You cannot control what another person thinks about you, but you can choose how you behave. That small distinction is incredibly powerful. Imagine you say something in a meeting and someone disagrees with you. An anxious mind might immediately say, "Now they think I'm stupid." But a healthier perspective says, "I'm responsible for what I said and how I behaved." Their reaction and judgment belong to them. That doesn't mean becoming indifferent to other people. Quite the opposite, actually. You can respect people, listen to feedback, and still refuse to let their opinions control every decision you make. But how do you actually practice this in real life? Ask yourself one simple question. Am I doing this because I genuinely choose it, or because I'm afraid of what other people will think? That question creates a small pause between fear and behavior. For example, imagine you want to share your real opinion in a group, but you're afraid people will disagree. Instead of automatically staying silent, ask yourself, if I knew nobody would judge me, what would I say? You don't necessarily have to say it, but the question reveals something important. Is your decision coming from your own values or from fear of judgment? Social psychology also gives us another useful insight. Research on the spotlight effect suggests that we often overestimate how much other people notice our appearance, mistakes, and behavior. You may feel like everyone noticed that awkward moment, but most people are far less focused on you than you imagine. So the next time you feel like everyone is judging you, ask another question. Do I actually have evidence that they're thinking about me this much, or is my mind simply predicting the worst-case scenario? Here's the practical exercise to start using today. Find one small situation where you normally hold yourself back because you're afraid of being judged. Share an honest but respectful opinion. Say no to a small request. Wear something you genuinely like. Or say something in a conversation that you normally hide because you're worried about how it will be received. Then simply observe what happens. The goal isn't to make everyone approve of you. The goal is to teach your brain, I can handle the possibility of being judged and still make my own choice. And maybe that is what real freedom looks like. Not making sure nobody ever judges you, but making sure their judgment no longer controls your life. Now there's a harder question. If you knew nobody would judge you, what would you change about your life today? The answer might reveal more about your real self than anything you've believed about yourself for years. And if you think becoming a better speaker is simply about having more confidence, don't miss the next video. We're going to explore why some people seem naturally comfortable and interesting in conversations, and what simple shift can make your conversations feel more natural and engaging. So if you don't want to miss it, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to understand more about human behavior, practical psychology, and personal skills, open the playlist you see on the screen. The next episode might reveal something about your behavior that you never noticed before.